Hi guys, before we start today's live show, I have a ko-fi.com page. I think it's Ko-fi, it might be coffee. Either way, it's something where you can support your favorite artist. Now, I'm not an artist. I'm not going to pretend I'm an artist. However, we do create stuff, so they do tell me I am. I don't know. Anyhow, a lot of you will know about my health problems. I am disabled. I have trouble working. It's a long story. If at any point you want to ask me, just slide into my DMs like Lee Catamol slides into a tackle. However, it does cost to provide content, pay for StreamYards, podcast servers, etc., microphones, the lot. I'm sure you can all appreciate. So if you don't mind, head to ko-fi.com, and for the price of a cup of coffee, just £3, you can support this show, this channel, and help it to grow and help it to develop and give you guys the bigger voice. All right, I'm done warbling. Let's get into it. I'll see you on the other side of this. Hello, good afternoon, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Talking Town Matchday Ticket Live. We are playing West Ham today in one of what is perceived to be our last friendlies. There are unofficial talk, obviously, ahead of Saturday's potential trip to Cambridge. Is it? Isn't it? Who knows? But we're here to bring you another afternoon of entertainment and fun, covering the mighty Super Blues as they take on West Ham. And already I can see people jumping in our live chat room and putting their messages. Joe92, I will have your thoughts on the screen very soon. But as always, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. An interesting lineup today, but so we'll get straight into today's live stream. I'll, of course, bring in my colleague and friend, Mr. Richard Moss, the Cruncher. How are we doing? You're on mute. I tell you what. No. Hopefully, the Super Blues play a lot better than that this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, because that was absolutely woeful. We'll try that again very soon. We will have some thoughts on the screen. We have Joe92. Thoughts on the midfield today? Well, the lineup today is like this. We are talking Holy in goal, Danastian at right back, Chambers, NCL Ward. I think it will be a 4-2-3-1. The 4-2-3-1 can be a variation of 4-3-3 and 4-5-1. But I think it'll be more like this with Downs and Dozell. Dozell playing in his preferred midfield option, just behind an attacking player. Sears on the right, Bishop in the middle, Edwards on the left, and Drinan. Drinan is getting another chance up the front. For a striker that didn't play, well, he didn't play at all last year for Ipswich Town. He is getting his chances, certainly in pre-season, to impress. Sore feet for the beat. Good afternoon, West Ham. 4-1 win from Daniel. I don't know if that's going to happen. Joshua Waters, keep up the good work. Love tuning your channels up the town. Thank you ever so much. Yes, lots of big names missing, JG. Lots of big names. Dobra, Wolfenden, Lancaster, Norwood, Hawkins. We'll get into that very soon. So we try again. Should we bring the Cruncher in? I know we like him on mute, but we don't want him on mute. So should we try again? Mr. Moss, 3, 2, 1. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
There you go. We've got him. How are we?
Well, you'd muted me, it said.
I didn't mute you. No,
not
this
good,
time.
Mate. The rain has gone. We've got some football to watch. So let's see what we do this afternoon.
Yeah, we've got Facebook chat buzzing already. We've got Bradley Hembrew, 2-1 West Ham. We've got, as I've just read out there shortly ago, we've got Daniel, 4-1 West Ham. We've got a correspondent from official Clarets TV I'll bring in very soon. Rich, will it be better than Saturday or will it be another hammering?
Well, I wouldn't say Saturday was a hammering. Look at the team that Spurs had out. It was apart from Harry Kane, you could say that was near enough their first choice team. So we only lost 3-0. 2-0 after 10 minutes. It looked like it was going to be a cricket score, but we done all right. It's pre-season. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, it is pre-season. You are absolutely right. You've caught me having a bit of a gulp of a coffee there. So hit me up on this team news, Mr. Moss. What do you think of this?
Obviously, we got a lot of absentees. Look, you got them all at the bottom there. Vincent Young as well. Obviously, hopefully another game Saturday. And if anyone's got a knock, you're not going to take a chance with them, are you, really? I'm just really excited to see my midfield three that I did say on Sunday of Downs, Dazelle and Bishop. Let's see how they go today. Yeah,
do you think they'll line up in that midfield triangle like that?
Possibly. It depends. When we're in possession, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see as the game starts. But in that 11, you'd say, Martin, where's the goals coming from?
Well, that's the issue, isn't it? And that's what we were talking about on Sunday on the podcast with lack of plan B. Obviously, Sears up against his old club can produce. I see him playing more on the right than the left, but they can obviously interchange. I want to see Dozell be a bit better in possession today against better opposition. You imagine better opposition because obviously I think West Ham are also playing Wickham today, if I'm right in thinking.
West Ham team?
I haven't, but I hope our correspondent, which I'll bring in very soon. Quickly, though, Mr. Moss, for those watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, how can they obtain today's game?
Go to the Ipswich Town website, ipswichtown.co.uk. The links are there. It says get your ticket for £10. Click on that. You can either sign in with Facebook, Google, sign in with Twitter. It's pretty straightforward. £10. Not that I think we should really be paying £10 for a game against it. It's not even going to be a West Ham first 11, is it really? So
no.
Northampton, Luton, they got a friendly and that was free. So I think we're missing a trick here. A lot of people are at work as well.
Yeah.
Are people really going to pay £10? Look, we're mugs.
Oh, it's a rather interesting team actually from West Ham. I'm rather excited having a look at that lineup. First and foremost, though, on the £10 issue, I do somewhat agree with you. I'm not going to lie. Especially as I believe, again, I will ask our friend from West Ham TV that when they're playing Wickham are showing it for free on their website. And I'm not going to have people tell me in the chat it's because Wickham are a championship club. We have not suddenly got things so bad at this club that it's a sudden charge, is it, Mr. Moss? It's always been the case.
Yeah, well, they'll say that they've got 5 cameras in for today's game.
Just give me one.
Look, it was obviously the cameras for Spurs were spot on. They're a Premier League team. But look, we've got Brennell Woolley on comms. What more do we want?
Well, there we go. We've got Jason Milton. The purpose of a practice game is to see players or formations you're not sure about. Agree?
Yeah, definitely. You can try different formations, and it's all about like Drinan. I see today Ayr. They're possibly on loan. I can't see that he's going to be anywhere near the first team come the start of the season. Although it's a bit worrying. James Norwood's still unfit. Hawkins has come in. And they're telling me he's hardly done any training. I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking, we've got one more friendly Saturday, and then we hit the ground running, haven't we? We've got the Bristol Rovers and the EFL Trophy against Arsenal. We need him fit. We need to start. Yeah. We need to start with players fit. We don't want people who are not fit to start with. This is a good chance for him, surely, with Norwood out, for him to get in this team and say, listen, let's see what I can do. I want to be the number 9 in this team if you're playing the front three. I want to be the central striker, but with him not being fit, I find it a little bit odd. Jackson, there's another one. Why is he not playing today? Is there transfer talk with him? We know teams have been after him. Is it going to be another Waghorn situation? I don't know. There's a lot of questions to be answered, isn't there, really?
There really is. But let's first of all bring in our friends from West Ham. I've got 2 people waiting in the blue room. Which one wants to come first? We've got Frankie and we've got Baz. Which one? Wave at me with which one is going to come in first. I wasn't expecting 2. I'll bring Frankie in because he moved first. He's more awake than you, Baz. He's more awake. So without further ado, our friends from West Ham TV, Mr. Frankie, how you doing?
Very well, thank you, chaps. How are you?
I'm very well, thank
you. I hope you told Frankie we're not allowed any playoff talk. Otherwise, you're going out.
West Ham Ipswich playoff. That didn't happen, did it?
We can talk
Well,
about
hopefully you'll have some more to go through soon, chaps. Well, is there any chances this season or what?
Next question. How are West Ham looking so far pre-season, Frankie?
To be honest, this is the first time that we're lining up, mate. So we haven't seen anything
really?
Yet.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So looking at your lineup, fairly strong lineup. Am I right in thinking that?
I'm trying to work out what Moyes has tried to do here, because obviously we've got the 2 games going on. So I felt like he might have had his sort of first 11 that he really fancied, and then he might have had, a squad that are there to try and prove themselves. But it doesn't seem that's the case. He seems to have split everything sort of down the middle. What I can't work out about today is we don't have many right backs in the club at the moment, to be quite honest, but we haven't got a right back in the squad. So I'm trying to work out whether he's going to line up with a back 3, because we haven't really seen much of Elise. He's a young 19-year-old. Balbuena was the out of favour centre back for last season. For whatever reason, David Moyes didn't let him get anywhere near the football pitch. So he really doesn't like him. And then Aaron Cresswell, who's usually our left back, has been massively out of form at left back. But David Moyes has had a tendency to play him as a centre half. So it might be the case that we play with 3 centre halves. If not, then we might be putting someone like Coventry as our right back, which would be a strange move. But what makes it even more concerning is Yarmolenko is our right winger. And he just refuses to track back. So I'm not sure who your left midfielder is, but if he's got anything about him, he should have the free rein down the left-hand side today.
Yeah, we anticipate that to be Edwards lining up on the left-hand side there. But looking at which, he is a fast, tricky winger. So if he's given the freedom, that could be key.
We want field day, mate.
Well, in that case, we definitely want to see that from him today, because he can sometimes, I think it's fair in saying, be a bit hit and miss at times, as a lot of wingers probably can do, actually, because a lot drift in and drift out of games and whatnot. You've got Anderson playing. Obviously, he scored at Portman Road last year in the friendly. Is he a player that needs to be kicking on now in his West Ham career?
Well, you would hope so, because obviously he cost us a record signing fee and was a lot of money. He started off having all the intention in the world to potentially be a really good player for us. Scored a lovely little goal against Man United with a sort of backheel flick, and he had all the traits to go on and be a big player for us. But I mean, he couldn't even get on as a substitution when things returned after COVID. He couldn't get a look in, and he just is so lazy. He looks so disinterested. When he's up for it and he fancies it, he is world class, but he just never seems to want to put in the effort. And I mean, when I say strolls about, I mean, there could be a ball 5 yards away from him and he won't even bother trying to make a challenge. He is really lazy. So I think the fans are split a bit 50-50 with him at the moment. I think a lot are saying, look, if you don't want to be here, especially with the season we had last season, just go, because we don't need players like that around the club at the moment. And then the other half are like, well, how are you going to replace him, and who are you going to replace him with? The other problem that if we are going to get rid of him, he cost us 40 million. I think we still owe 20 million on him. If we were going to sell him, we'd probably only get 20 million for him now. So you'd sell him just to balance the books, which is pointless. So you have to try and get it out of him. But we brought in Stuart Pearce as a coach recently. I don't know whether he's going to be tasked to give him a bit of a kick and see if he can liven him up a bit, but he needs it, trust me.
Certainly does. And looking at your lineup, we've got Randolph in goal, Elise, Balbuena, Cresswell, Coventry, Susek, Wilshere, Yarmolenko, Anderson, Halar. Halar's another one that's not quite hit the ground running, right, from a big fee.
Again, he did. At Watford, we won 3-1 at the beginning of last season. He scored an overhead kick and he looked fantastic. And
is he injured? Has he been injured?
No. He's pretty much been available. But the way we set up, we play with a lone striker. And when we brought him in from Frankfurt, he was playing in a top 3. And he loves feeding off of other players. You could see that we was leaving him isolated up top on his own, especially in tough games like your Liverpool's, Man City's. And he was just getting so disheartened and disinterested. He was just wandering around as if to say, I'm not even going to touch the ball for 90 minutes. What is the point in me being here?
Then you played Antonio there, didn't you?
And then you play Antonio, which Antonio, he can be a pest. He can be a right nuisance.
He works all day, doesn't he?
He does. He's a grafter and he don't stop running. But that's not Hilaire. And, we do this a lot. We bring in players just because they're a name or for whatever reason they've got I think our side only buy off 2 agents in the footballing world. We literally have links with 2 agents, and that's the only agents that we go to bring in players, which means we just end up bringing in players just to chuck in a side with no real thought around, are they going to fit? Are they going to be what we need at that?
What does that sound like?
So,
what does that sound like? Ollie Hawkins hasn't even kicked the ball yet, and we brought him in. I mean, that's a head scratcher, right, Rich?
Yeah, I can't get my head around it, Martin. You sign someone. He's played 7 games last season.
He's not chased by anybody, is he?
Well, it wasn't reported, was it? It just sort of come out of the blue. We're interested, and we signed him, and now, look, we're not going to play him if he's not 100%. But you'd have thought he'd get some minutes by now, wouldn't you? Really? You
would have thought so. Yeah. You'd like to think so.
The ones to watch for you two today is Souček and Dejan Garner. Souček come in and pretty much was the reason why our entire season turned around. He's box to box. I mean, he jumps. He should be a basketball player. The height that man jumps is, I've never seen a geezer jump so high. It is unbelievable. So
he ran the Chelsea game, didn't he?
He did, and he's another engine. At times he was camped in the opposition box. He's supposed to be there as sort of a central midfielder, and at times he was just camped in their other half. But he gets goals, and he's so dangerous with his head and his aerial threat. And then Dejan Garner, obviously, we haven't seen a lot of him for a year because he's been at West Brom, but obviously had a fantastic season with them and got them promoted. And now we're really excited to see him back and see if he can start turning out in the Premier League. He was a little bit lightweight when he was playing in the Premier League with us. So it'll be interesting to see if he's developed, whether he's got that bit of strength, and, is he going to be someone that we can rely on this season?
Certainly. Okay. Have a quick drink, Frank. I'll bring Baz in. Baz, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, chaps. How are you?
We're very well. Yeah, seeing your lineup, a bit intrigued. It's going to be a good game, we expect. What do you expect to see from today's game?
It's hard, mate. I don't have any trust left in West Ham now. I don't have trust in what owns us, so that runs right through. It's strong, to be fair, but then there is 2 friendlies being played at the same time. We've got to start seeing performances from players like Anderson, Haller, Yarmolenko, Jack Wilshere. Now he's fit and playing. That's the one I want to see, because the worst thing is Balbuena and Wilshere were both fit towards the end of the season and didn't feature, so they're obviously not part of Moyes' plans. And I think you can see that by the team that he's got out there today. It's no disrespect to you, but the side down at Wickham
is stronger.
Yeah, but I also think with that side, it's more his first team players, if that makes sense. It's hard way to say. I just don't know. I don't trust him, mate. And I just heard you both say about Haller. There's another one. He's got to start doing something. He did get an injury last year. He did miss a bit of football. Too much, really. But again, we don't play to his strengths. And it'd be like you playing Freddie Sears up front as the target man. It wouldn't work. And that's the whole way. Mate, we expose players. And unfortunately, it's not just David Moyes. It's been every manager at the club. And it makes you ask questions where decisions are made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously Ipswich Town, West Ham, it goes back many years. This rivalry, it's not much of a rivalry anymore.
You said don't mention playoffs as you sat there in a playoff final.
Well, exactly. That's him all over. You'll get used to him. You'll get used to him. But what do you expect to see from Ipswich? Obviously, you don't know them all that well. What do you expect to see from us today?
To be fair, I last season at the pre-season game, or the season before, was it? Was it last year?
Last year, yeah.
Or was it last year? I come along to that, and Ipswich, I do a lot of fundraising for a young girl called Isla Caton, who's been fighting neuroblastoma, and Ipswich are fantastic. We wasn't allowed to collect within the ground, but they gave us permission to collect outside and around where the Ipswich fans were as well, which is really good of them. That's the first thing I want to say about the football club. I hope to see Ipswich do well, to be fair. I'm old friends with Keith Deller, the dart player, and used to be very good friends with Kevin Painter, not so much now, but again, I'd like to see Ipswich do well for them. I know they're both big Ipswich fans. Freddie Sears, obviously, being with you, I'd like to see him do well. Jimmy Walker, who's with you now. Just go at West Ham, because we ain't a confident side at all. And the confidence has been dragged from everywhere at the club. You know, we finished last season all right, but still, like, just go at West Ham. If you ever go at West Ham, you've got a chance. We ain't going to be nothing special this year, and it's nothing against David Moyes. And I'll say now, I don't think Tottenham will be anything this year. I just think football's changed so much. And I think Tottenham won't be anything under Jose Mourinho, and we won't be nothing under David Moyes. They don't play the modern way, in my opinion.
Okay, and what is the modern way in your opinion?
I think he's got that higher tempo now, the high press, the fastness about it, and we're still dated. We still don't know what our best formation is, you know. And again, I think you could put someone like Pep or Klopp at West Ham, and all the while the two at home, they'd do no good. Because I don't believe the manager gets the full thing. You know, we struggled last year. We stayed up by the skin of our teeth. We're a week, 2 weeks into a transfer window, and all we've done is seen 3 players leave. Okay. That's the ambition of West Ham. And the biggest thing is, you'd accept it if you were still at Upton Park, or we would if we were still at Upton Park.
That's what I thought, because you've gone to the Olympic Stadium, you know, that was...
And that's it. The move's fine, but if the move is we're moving so more fans can watch us, then happy days. But when you're telling us all the lies that come with us to make us buy into this, it's not fair, mate. And they're the worst thing about West Ham, the two that own us. And the sooner they go, the better, to be fair.
Okay, right. We'll come back to you, Baz, very shortly. Rich, what do you want to see from the town today? What do you want to see from those young players and senior players?
I want to see a bit of drive. You know, let's get forward. Let's create some chances, because against Tottenham, they held us at arm's length, didn't they? Really, and we were never going to create anything. Although with that team today, I did say earlier, it is where the goals are going to come from. You know, it's a bit. You got Drinan, Edwards on the left. Hopefully, I could see him probably maybe starting the season there, which is probably his best position, isn't it? Really, he played there for Peterborough, but he's not really played there for us. But
no,
the 3 in midfield. You know, I want to see more. I agree with you from Dazelle. He's got to take these games by the scruff of the neck, because he must know he's got a real chance of being in that first 11. You know, and he's got a real opportunity this afternoon playing against Wiltshire. You know, Premier League players.
Susek.
He's got a real show. He's got to get on the ball. I know you say he's quite sloppy in possession, and he's got to get that ball, look to go forward, and he's got a real chance, you know, because chances like this are not going to come along for him and even Teddy Bishop. You know, these are not young players anymore. They've been at the club for a number of years, and they have to perform now, and they have to show something to get in that starting 11. It's no good for them playing 23s football or sitting on the bench. They need to play first team football. If it's not Ipswich, look, I'm a big fan of Dazelle, big fan of Teddy Bishop, but if it's not Ipswich, they need to go somewhere else and play, because it's no good for them now not playing senior football.
Yeah, no, it's really not. And obviously this could work against you a little bit, because Flynn Downs could really impress this afternoon, and West Ham were interested, if you believe the report. So you could, this could be the game that maybe wins him a move away. It could not be, but in terms of Dozell, he can't treat it like a friendly. He's got to treat it like a competitive game. Exactly. He's got to go at it. He's got to bring his best game, because he's playing against some really quality players this afternoon, and the fan base is split, whether you like it or not. Some think he should go out on loan. Some think he should, be in the first team. You've got to step up and prove you're in the first team.
Yeah, it's not. I don't see no point in him having a loan move, because I think if it's a loan move away, I can't see him. He's in the last year of his contract. I know he's got another 12 months. But
the year's too important to play a player that's not ready. You've got to go at this season, and you can't be carrying anybody.
No, we've got so many midfielders. He must know that himself. He must be thinking, look at the midfielders I'm up against. But he must think in his own mind, listen, this afternoon, it's a great chance for me to go out, show the manager what I can do. I'm going to have another game probably on Saturday to nail down that starting 11 place. I want him, that first game comes along, I want him to be in that team. I don't want him to be another game here and there, play a few minutes here and there out the first 11. It's no good for Andre anymore. He has to show, and he should, this afternoon, it should lift him. You're playing against international footballers, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And for those that are watching, not quite sure where to get the game, you go to itfc.co.uk and you will find it through there, through a few clicks. It is £10, as Joe rightly here says. Other clubs are showing it for free. Like Gillingham are showing their game for free. Wickham, I believe, is showing the West Ham game that they're playing at the same time for free. But we're not. It's £10, but you can find it through the itfc.co.uk website. Other players in the team that maybe need to step up and start making their claim. I'm really quite intrigued about Aaron Drinham. Come from nowhere, had a good game against Colchester United, didn't really have a great game Saturday, gave the ball away for the first goal. Can't happen against any opposition. He needs to really show something today, do you feel? Or do you feel that players like Drinham, Nsiala are playing to get fit with a chance of a loan move out?
It all depends with the strikers who's fit, because if Norwood and Hawkins are not fit come the first game of the season, he's probably going to be involved, isn't he, really? That's the only way I can see him making his way into the first team. I don't think he'll be anywhere near the first team come the 5th. Maybe the Bristol Rovers game, he could get a look in there because probably it's going to be very touch and go now if Norwood's going to be fit, isn't it? They did say today that it trained yesterday. It was an interesting. Did you see his tweet this morning? First year, 8:27, making a little point there.
Well, and rightly so. He is unfairly criticised by a large number.
I agree.
He is, and if he's fit, one of our best players. But that is a worry of mine, Rich. To be fair, Hawkins hasn't played. Norwood hasn't played. Jackson's only played 45 or 90, I suppose. And we kick off in 2 weeks.
That's a strange one, Jackson. You've got your other two senior strikers not fit. Jackson's your number one player, number one striker, and he's not anywhere on the bench. Even if he was come on for 45 minutes today to get some more minutes under his belt, I find it a real strange one that he's not involved. Look, he might have an injury. You don't know. He might have a little knock, and that might be why he's That's a bit harsh.
It's a bit harsh. Yeah, that is a bit harsh.
Let's give him more than 45 minutes.
Yes. So, right. Andy Gray's spot on. Disappointed to see Dobber involved. So, last 3 minutes, I'm going to bring our friends back in from Claret TV just to give what they want to see from the first half in terms of performance and whatnot, and then we'll let them go and we'll bring them back at half time. I'll bring in Baz first this time. Baz, obviously.
Don't worry about what's going to happen in the first half. Worry about what Kyle's saying. You've got worse owners than West Ham. Come on,
I can't.
Just remind me what level you're at and what you're doing. You ain't had your heart and soul ripped away and taken from you and sold for profit, mate. We've lost everything, and that ain't through false promises. Honestly, I'd have Mike Ashley now over what we've got. Big statement, and I promise
I've only got 2 minutes to address that claim.
First half, after Carl's comments, we're about 9-0 up at half time now. No, I'm only kidding. It was a good game, good contest. No side gets any injuries, and good fitness for both teams coming into the season up and coming. And I wish you lot all the best throughout the season.
I will hopefully see you at half time. Frankie, I will ask you a different question. Jack Wilshere, do you want to see him take over this first half?
No. I'm not too fussed about Jack Wilshere because you know that even if he does have a good pre-season, he won't last very long. He'll break down and we'll never see him again. I think the most important things we've got to see right here, right now is Felipe Anderson looking like he's interested and actually wants to be at the club. We need to see Dejan Garner have a good performance and prove that he can be a player that we can utilise this season. Hilaire, I want to see him a little bit more committed to the calls, and even if he is up front on his own, being able to actually try and work to get the ball and do what Antonio does, basically make something happen, not just wait for the ball to come to you. And see Surchek carry on in good vein. And what we really don't need, because our squad is so weak, is just no injuries. I'm really happy if we go through the motions a little bit and we just don't get any key injuries. That to me is what's important right now.
Perfect. We'll catch up again at half time. Thank you for joining us on the pre-game show. Rich, what do you want to see from your team first half?
I want to see a bit of an attacking intent, getting into them. Let's not stand off them, because look, they're Premier League players. They're probably going to have more of the ball than we are. But when we get that ball, let's not give it away cheaply, like you say on Saturday, because if you give it away against teams like this, they're going to punish. I know it's their first friendly, but you're going to get punished. We've got to take care of that ball when we have it, and let's be creative.
Yeah, be brave.
Yeah, we've got to be brave when we're in possession. But
I want to see good shape. I don't care particularly about necessarily style in this first half. I want to see a shape, because West Ham, you expect to have a lot of the ball. So let's have a shape. When we win it, be clinical, be deadly, have a plan, and of course, fitness and no injuries. And a big half from Dozell for me. That's mine. But we've got to close it early. Kickoff is imminent. So join us at half time. Thanks for the Claret guys for joining us, guys rather. And we'll see you all at 2:45-ish. Adios, my friends. See you soon.